Good morning, student. Today's chapter, that is new chapter, that is chapter number 5, separation of substance. Separation means you are separating from a mixture, some substance which are useful or other it is impurities or other it is useful or unuseful. So which are not required. You are separating from a substance from a mixture. You are separating the things which you don't require or you require separately. So separation of substance, how we separate substance from a mixture. So here component from a mixture we can say. So you have come across certain instance when you required, we have noticed certain substance are being separated from a mixture. Certain substance are being separated from a mixture. For example, you are preparing a cup of tea. You are preparing a cup of tea. Your mommy added with the water and milk and also some tea powder. So after adding tea powder into the cup of tea, after boiling, what happened? You are serving as a cup of tea to our dear ones. What happened? After serving, what happened? They use some strainer. Why? Why they are using the strainer? In order to remove the tea after boiling it, after mixing with the milk, the tea is separated. That is not required. We don't consume those tea, the unuseful tea. So what happened? So they need to separate it. How they are separating? By using some strainer. They using some by strainer. That is called what? Separated. They use some strainer. By this they separate the tea from that chai. We can say chai. So the strainer is used to separate the unimpurities, means which are not useful. We are not consuming those. So whatever liquid we are consuming, we are taking that. But with the help of strainer, we are removing. Likewise, we also separate various materials. If you come across in villages, we will mostly find after harvesting the crop, we are taking into in a space where it is a clean area. In a clean area we take, what happened? We are just with the help of cows and buffaloes, we are separating those grains from the stalk or chaff, we can say, from the stalk of the plant, from crop plant. So from crop plant, seed are separated by various means, by harvester, or we can say by machines or by animals, by domestic animals. We can separate those grains from the stalk. That is how we are separating the grains from stalk. Also, you will come across milk and curd is also separated from what? Separate the butter. Milk and curd are separated from butter by churning. Milk and curd is separated from the butter. Here also. And also you will already last chapter we have studied, in previous chapter we have studied regarding how the ghee is separated, means ginning process. By ginning process, here cotton seeds are separated from fiber. From cotton fiber, seeds are separated by ginning process. This is how we separate the things which we do not require, or the materials which are unuseful or useful, we separate them from a material. So this is how. So if you take a basket, for example, I will give a basket. In that basket, take a basket. In that basket, what happened? In that basket, you are taking a mango. What are you? Mango and some guava, smaller size. This is a mango. This is a guava. So what happened? I will tell you to separate the fruits which are there in that. There are two types of fruits. That is mango. One is this is guava. This is mango. Got it now? This is one. This is two. You separate them both in separate basket. Easily you can separate it because they are in large size. You can easily separate them and kept in separate basket. But what about the materials or substance which are very minute size, which are very small? How we can possible? If you take a sand and a salt, if I mix together sand and salt, I will mix together. Can you able to separate them? It is quite complicated to separate them because it is impossible. They are very small. How we can separate? How we can separate those materials? So we'll study the methods in which we separate those materials in this chapter. Those materials in this chapter. In column 1 of table 5.1, if you look into the book, what is given? It is given 5.1. You just make sure that you correct it from your book. Table 1.1 here is given here. Table column 3, 2 and 3 are jumble. It is given jumble. So here not sequentially it is not given. So here what is given? Table 5.1. You just correct it. First one is what is saying. First one is said separate stones from rice. Here separate stone from rice. Stone from rice. I will just write clearly. Stone from rice. Separate stone from rice. Here 2 columns are given. What happened? 2 columns are given. But which one is correct here? Here one is here. Second one, to remove non-useful component. Or you can say to remove impurities or harmful components, to separate 2 different but useful components. Here both are useful. This stone and rice are useful. No, here stone is not useful. Rice is useful. So first option A is we cannot. That is not matching. Second one, to remove non-useful components. Here to remove non-useful components. Here rice is useful. Stone is non-useful. This is non-useful, we know. But another option is given to remove impurities or harmful component. Stone is useful or it is very good for health. If you consume, it is very harmful. So we can say here this is impurities. Impurities means those substances which are not required. What it now? So those impurities or harmful component. So we can write here C, option C. Then third one, option C you are writing to remove impurities or harmful components. Then next one in column 3 we throw away the solid components. That is exactly because stones are solid. They are solid. Stone are solid. If you read next option, we throw away the impurities. This also exactly is testing. This is impurity. Stone is impurity. But we also throw away the impurities no matter what. But next also we use both the components. Here it is not matching. Both the components we are using. No, we are not using. But here C option is what? To remove impurities or harmful components. Harmful components means you never consume. You are not even using it separately. Both the substances are separated. The stones are not used. Minute stone, they are thrown away. First one is, but here is first one is there. Option 1 is telling here that is solid component. Option 1. So we are throwing away the solid component. Stone is a solid. So we are throwing away the solid component. So answer first one table is 1 C1. Next one 2 is churning milk to obtain butter. What is the butter? Churning. Second one is churning, CHURNING, churning milk to obtain butter. Here churning milk, C is completed. We'll see this both the A and B. To separate 2 different but useful components. Both are useful. Milk also useful, butter is also useful. So answer is that is A. Here both are useful. Churning milk into obtain butter. Milk also useful, butter also useful. So option A is study to separate 2 different. They are 2 different. We are separating the 2 different components, 2 different substances, but both are useful. So A is correct. Both are useful. Then next, what we will do? We throw away the impurities? No, we are not throwing this milk or butter. We are not throwing, but we use both the components. Third one is we use both the components. We use both the components here. Next one is separate tea leaves. Third one is separate tea leaves. T leaves. T leaves means option A, C is complete. B only. To remove non-useful components. Leaves we cannot consume. Tea powder, the leaves, broken leaves which are left over after preparing chai, after with the help of strainer you are separating those tea leaves, that tea powder we can say. So remaining one we are not consuming, so that is impurities, leftover impurities. So here 1, 3 is complete. 2 is what is done, we throw away the impurities. We are throwing, obviously we are throwing those tea impurities. So from this table you already have some idea here what idea we got, but we are separating some substance but which are not required, we are throwing out. But we are separating those substances like milk and butters are separated. Those both are useful components. Those are separated to use separately for our purpose. Here one is useful substance, another is non-useful substance. One useful substance we are separating for our consumption, and next one is we are throwing out. So for purpose we are separating. There is a purpose of separating this mixture. So if you talk about smaller size, so separation of this substance can be made in solid, liquid and gases. So solid, in solid also these are solid. If we talk about solid, liquids, milk and butters. Milk is liquid. Solid, liquid and gases also. In gases also we will talk how to separate gas in this material. So there is a process of methods in which we can separate those useful or which are not required, can be separated from a mixture of materials. Next class we will study methods of what? Methods of separation. Okay, I hope you understood. Once you go through this table 5.1 you have to write in notebook. So I gave the answer here. So if you are not getting, if you have any doubt, please contact me in WhatsApp. Thank you.